Dude, I'm glad they're bringing...
Gotham asks why these heroes matter. Next Level asks a different question. Who's next? This panel is about the creators, characters, and ideas shaping the next wave of DC storytelling. Cue slide. Batman and Deathstroke, the Terminator. We launched with bold talent reimagining some of our fan favorite characters.
And that was quickly followed by unexpected visions of the Fury of Firestorm, Zatanna, Barbara Gordon Breakout, and finally the Dead Man. And so I'd like to welcome up Joshua Williamson.
Is everybody ready for some surprises today?
Yes!
Lots of really cool stuff coming. I hope you're excited.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. Josh, you are one of the creative architects of Next Level. With Scott Snyder.
Yep.
What made Legion of Superheroes the right book for you?
You know, I am a huge Legion of Superheroes fan, and for a long time I wasn't even sure if I was the right person for it. And I'm gonna tell this story. I've told this story with Hayden many times. 2 years ago, for years I wanted to do, and I was obsessed with doing Legion. And we had these conversations about what Scott and I were thinking about with All In, with Absolute, the development of that, architecting that. But we wanted to apply that same energy that we applied to All In and Absolute to the rest of the line, and looking at the other characters that felt give that kind of energy. And in the back of my head, I was always thinking about Legion of Superheroes. And a few years ago, I was at New York Comic Con, and we were talking about literally my future at DC Comics. We were having this conversation of what I was going to do and the projects I could do. And I was in the audience for the All In Absolute panel, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to everyone talk about the books. And at one point, Hayden goes up and starts talking about Absolute Wonder Woman. Which y'all mean Absolute Wonder Woman, right?
Yes!
Hayden is up on the stage and Hayden is talking about how the energy of Absolute Wonder and the feeling of it being these like almost create your own type books and being able to reinvent these characters. And I was actually listening to Hayden talk about it, and I realized that I had to do Legion of Superheroes. My future was literally that. And I started talking to DC, and DC had been on the table for me to do it, and I wasn't sure, but our awesome editor, Paul Kaminsky, who is over here, for a second. So when we took this project on, I'm a huge Legion nerd. Paul knew nothing about Legion of Superheroes, but made it his mission to become an absolute expert on Legion of Superheroes, and went through and has read every single Legion of Superheroes comic, to the point where Paul knows more about Legion than anyone I know. Will oftentimes mention things that I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know about that. So for the last 2 years, we've been developing Legion of Superheroes and trying to figure it out, because I think Legion of Superheroes is something not only am I passionate about, but a lot of people are really passionate about those characters. And there's been different versions of it, and everyone has their favorite. And trying to navigate that, and trying to figure it out, working with Paul. But then about almost a year ago, I started talking to Hayden about it. We were walking the streets of New York, and it was sort of, I don't want to say a coincidence, but the idea that part of why I decided to even do Legion of Superheroes was because I was listening to Hayden talk about just being creative and working on the Absolute books. And then we were walking, and we just started talking randomly about Legion. And then it clicked in my head, and I was on the airplane coming back to New York, and I texted Paul Kaminsky, and I was like, what about Hayden?
Also, I remember being on the New York panel with you of Legion is announced. Legion flashing on the screen, Joshua Williamson. I remember being on the panel being like, oh, cool. We're just going to draw that. Yeah, exactly. I was like, that'll be neat.
Well, Hayden, I'd really love to ask you, I mean, you're a fantastic artist, but how are you going about crafting a future that isn't simply science fiction, but also feeling like DC?
Yeah, I think part of that is actually in honestly cover.
Oh, it's the first time we're showing this issue 2 cover.
Yeah.
Brainiac and Batman. Everyone love Matter Eater Lad? I'm glad. Yes, Matter Eater Lad is awesome and has some some of my favorite lines of dialogue, some of my favorite scenes in the book. But go on, yeah.
Oh yeah, like building it as part of like feeling like this is DC's future, 1,000 years in the future, and in that first spread that I think was on there just a bit ago, we see the Daily Planet. Like there are these buildings continue to exist, just like we still have buildings that exist in our world right now that are from thousands of years ago. We continue to build and build on top of all of these things and keep them as part of our culture. So for DC going 1,000 years in the future, we should be seeing iconic bits of architecture and world building that have endured, and they might be dilapidated and they're being held up by future technology, but that history is important to them.
Also, what's sort of interesting about how those characters are in this book in general is like these characters and this world is so important to so many people. Like we understand there's this huge community, this huge fandom that we wanted to honor what they wanted and also try to find our own take on it. Because again, listening to Hayden talk about being so creative with Absolute is what made me realize that the approach that we're taking with it was the correct approach. And I really felt like Hayden is one of those artists that represents the future of comics and the future of DC. So it made the most sense for us for Hayden to be the artist on this and being my partner on this journey.
I mean, we've been talking about the legacy of Legion of Superheroes and its long history. It's a cast of hundreds of characters. How are you guys also making it accessible to newer fans to this mythos?
That was the most important part to me, was that I understand that Legion is this massive, sprawling mythology and all these characters, but we all have our favorites, and I felt like we needed to reintroduce it in the best way possible and really have clarity and make it accessible, because that's one of the things that really works about the Absolute line. The Absolute line is very accessible and you pick up by anybody. And when I started looking at Legion and how there were so many different versions of it, I realized that was what we needed to do as well. We needed to make sure it was very, very accessible. You could pick up issue 1 of this book knowing nothing of it. But at the same time, like I said, I am a continuity nerd. Reading in my work, you know how much I really do love the history of the DCU and trying to navigate that part and honor it. And I feel like when you read this book, if you are a Legion fan like me, for me forever, there is stuff for you. But also, if you've never read Legion Superheroes before, ever, it's very much for you as well. Like, you're going to be able to come into this, all the information you need is going to be there. But that was really important. And also with those characters, we love all of them. There's always an impulse, and I feel it too. We were talking about some breakfast, right? Like, I have my favorites, and I want to get to them sometimes. Like, I want to write them so badly, but I have to respect those characters. I have to make sure that every time we introduce a new one, oh, there's a couple we're showing for the first time.
Oh, sure. Issue 3, yeah, sorry.
It's not up on the narrative.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
The way that he plays with perspective.
That's really wants to be a superhero more than anything else, and recognize that sometimes being a superhero is a lot harder than you think it is. It's definitely going to be very tested in the story. But yeah, it's one of my favorite covers that David's done for the book so far. But yeah, we gotta make sure we introduce each character in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like they're cameos or throwaways. We all have our favorites, so I want to make sure. And Hayden's been very thoughtful with it. Yeah.
This is what early on, when you first mentioned Legion to me, there's an idea I have in my head for what a page of Legion looks like. It's like hundreds of characters. It's very intimidating from the artist's point of view, but it's exciting. And then knowing that what you were coming to, you're like, okay, we're going to build this up. We're going to give them each their moments, their time, so that when they do come together, each addition to the team is a meaningful addition. And we really get to have those moments. So when those favorites do show up, they're not just going to be there for a page, go away. They will be meaningfully added into the
Man, with the colors.
which Josh is just crushing.
Yeah,
He's doing the colors. He's doing coloring too.
Yeah, I want you to learn who they
He's doing the coloring.
know who they are as characters and what their roles are and what they want, why they can't get it and why that's important and why they want to be part of Legion. I mean, a major part of this book is of all these characters, when you meet them, none of them are where they want to be. And that's part of the story, is about them getting to where they want to be and becoming the Legion. And I really wanted to show that story and make it really grounded. So again, it wasn't just the names.
Yeah, I had to add on to that. Like, the designs that we're seeing right now, I think we're responding to the moment that they're in their journey. They don't have the trillionaire mega Googleplex in yet or whatever, funding and backing to give them all the things we traditionally associate with Legion. So this is something that will be building. Even in that third cover that we showed there, Lightning Lad has a superhero costume. He's got a separate look. And this is something that as they kind of come into their own, we'll see them evolve, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm really excited for when I check this book out. It's one of the most intimidating projects I've ever worked on for DC Comics.
Probably the
because
best
I
color this game.
understand the pressure of it and the value of it. I understand how many people love it, and I love it too, and I really wanted to make sure that we got it right. So I hope when it comes out in September that everyone reads it and checks it out, because I'm incredibly proud of the work we're doing, and obviously the work that Kody has done.
Yeah, you gotta pull that up.
Amazing. Like, it is some of the best looking comics I've ever seen in my life. It's so cool, and I hope everybody checks it out. Yeah, you more questions?
I really want to bring Kyle in to some of this teen superhero stuff we're talking about, but can we give the crowd, like, do you guys have a favorite Legionnaire, or is there somebody that, as you've been working on the book, you've kind of fallen in love with?
I was like, we were just talking about this breakfast too. I always like the Trinity. Like, I've always been on Lightning Lad, Saturn, Cosmic Boy, but I'm a sucker for, I'm a Zero Hour Legion fan. Are there Zero Hour Legion fans in the room at all? Yeah, I'm a Zero Hour person, that was mine. And then a 5 years later Legion after that, and I have different pieces. But for Legionnaires, I was always obsessed with some of the newer ones that came in, like Kinetics and Gates. You know, there was a few, there was Dawn Star is one of my favorites, Spirit Boy. Right, this is like a huge list right now, I'm so sorry. Just to say, you know, I really do, I hope you see that we really love these characters, but yeah, there's so many, and as I'm working, actually Master Lad really surprised me,
This is really coming through in the scripts as they come to me, because now Lightning Lad has become my favorite. Just before how you write, oh, this is, I see so much of, like, that feels like a person I know, or like I was at that age, where he is and what he's going through. And then similarly, everything you're doing, you're giving Matter Eater Lad so much time to shine.
I'm enjoying it. It's really fun.
Well, so Kyle, I really want to bring you into this, because you're writing Teen Titans.
It was an awesome #1, by the way.
So, as we know, Legion Superheroes, Teen Superhero Team, Teen Titans, famous Teen Superhero Team.
Sorry, I'm getting like triggered here.
No, it's all good. So I'm really curious for all three of you, what makes younger heroes so compelling as a storytelling engine? Why do readers keep gravitating toward characters inheriting enormous expectations?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I saw, there's this, it's gonna be a weird reference to start with, but Bob Odenkirk was on the Rich Eisen show. And he was talking about Better Call Saul, and he was talking about that character and why it resonated with people so much. And he was talking about how it was actually kind of counter to what we tend to do in this country narratively, which is coming-of-age stories about young characters that are special, that are either meant for greatness or find greatness. And I think that there's a reason for that. I think we all want to see, no matter what age we're at, what someone with great potential can achieve when they are trying to go about things the right way and trying to help other people. Like there's an aspirational quality to all of this, even as an older reader and an older writer. I think, though, at the same time, one of the big things, and Josh and I kind of talked about this at different points, and Brittany and I talk about this all the time, I'm a firm believer that there should be a Teen Titans book for every generation. Like, there should be a Teen Titans. You know, what New Teen Titans was for readers in the 80s was revolutionary, and it reflected the issues that the readers were going through by way of allegorical issues of the DCU. When Josh and I were coming up and of age, like, and Brittany, you too, like, that Jeff Johns, Mike McCone run was hugely influential to me. And I think now, the swing that we want to try to take with this book is to do the Teen Titans book for this generation. And reflecting not only the trials and tribulations of what being a teenager in the DCU is like, but also what everyone coming of age right now is going through. And so I think we've got some really cool opportunities to do that and to really showcase a lot of amazing young characters in the DCU, a lot of established characters, and then some new characters as well.
Your, I was going to say this real quick, your Jason is really good.
Oh, thanks.
Like, he writes an awesome Jason Todd. Like, are Jason Todd fans here?
Yeah, it's, I think there's a line in issue 1 that I think will definitely go viral on Jason Todd internet.
What has that transition been like for you? You've written so much Nightwing over the years. You're putting Red Hood into Teen Titans,
Yeah.
a team that Nightwing famously was a huge part of. How does it feel to write Jason now?
You know, it's fun. It really is. Like, I haven't written very much Jason Todd, even when I was doing Batman Eternal and you had the full cast of the Bat family. Jason, I don't think I had issues with him even. So, that's what Jason's like to teenagers. That's how they feel about him, and vice versa. I think what makes me the most excited about writing Jason right now, though, is where he is at, coming out of like what his dynamic with the Bat family is like now. I think the setup that we have in Teen Titans and why he comes in contact with the kids and why he agrees to work with them and why they pick him, which is a big part of the story, I think it actually puts Jason in a position to go through some experiences that he's never gone through before. And I think what he represents as far as like, you know, he's a young character, but he's not 15 years old anymore, you know? But he is a kid who was lost. And now coming of age, watching these kids come of age and getting over their heads on things, but also not wanting to just be a part of the system and like the legacy version of what Teen Titans has always been. And I can explain that in a second. Jason sees a lot of attitude there that he likes. Oh yeah, look, there we go. So I think it's this really cool kind of generational push and pull as well. Because even though Jason's in his early 20s, that's like, that might as well be elder millennial, you know?
Very true, very true.
He's 15-year-old. So he has certain opinions about things that are in opposition to the opinions that they have as young kids about things. And I think that push and pull is like at the heart of this. And you know, maybe Jason's not ready or down to do families again, but maybe with a little bit of luck, he could do friends.
Well, I think the fun thing about this book, you're introducing a lot of new faces to the DCU. So is there anything you can tell us about new characters, Proxy and Wildcard?
Yeah, so this is another thing that's really important to me, which is I want to work with characters that are already a part of the DCU, but I also want to introduce new ones, because I think part of keeping something like Teen Titans resonant for, you know, right now and for the future is to introduce new elements to the lore and new characters that you can build around. We have a really, I think, interesting setup for this. When I was talking about how the book, in my opinion, should kind of reflect not only the trials, but the times that we're living in, this version of Teen Titans is coming about in a way that really lends itself to not only legacy characters, but also new characters. So there was some art that was up there a few minutes ago that you might have seen. So this is a group, basically there's a Discord server in the DCU for all the DC youth that Fairplay started. And we call it a relay server. And essentially, they named it Teen Titans, but they named it out of the spirit of what the Teen Titans represented over the decades. The idea of originally building something that was by kids for kids to look out for each other. Because if you're trying to do something like this alone, it's really easy to fall through the cracks and to become lost. And the Teen Titans always looked out for each other. And it took kids who were ready to step off the sidelines in a world that they were understanding better than the adults and give them agency, right? So this server starts, and it starts to become a thing. And so all these kids that are in it, a few of them start meeting up in real life. And then that brings them in contact with Red Hood. And the case that Red Hood is working, and the way it connects back to the kids and their growing community is at the heart of the book. And how exactly other certain maybe former Teen Titan related characters that I've written in the past that also are Batman sidekicks, how they feel about that, I don't think we can spoil that, Brittany, but that might also
We'll
be...
make them wait a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so I kind of want to bring it back to the double team superhero team that we have launching in September, right? We've got Teen Titans and Legion of Superheroes. how are you both going about giving them their own distinct identity?
We talked at Summit, and we both had to pitch it. We had a Summit a few months ago, I guess you get that context. We had a Summit a few months ago, and we had to pitch it, and so we both were aware of it, and we talked, and because part of my consulting role with DC and working as an architect on All In and Next Level, I was reading what Kyle was doing as he was putting it together, and so for me, it was, I just knew we were doing something very distinctly different. I mean, obviously, there's the time change, but with you have your characters mostly already together. With us, we're bringing them together separately.
Yeah, I think there's also like in Titans, there is this kind of grassroots organic community building that is happening. Now it's happening across digital landscapes as well, but I think it has, in a way that Legion is obviously in the future, like we're trying to kind of represent what it's like to be coming up in the DC universe as a young teen, hero or powered individual right now, and then growing our group and stories and community out of that.
That's awesome. I want to take a little moment just to speak on Doom Patrol, one of my other favorite DC superhero teams, launching in September. By East and Nico Henderson. It is stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at some of these pages from Nico, these covers. The book is weird and wild and just like a Doom Patrol book should be. I can't speak highly enough of this book. I'm so excited about it. I'm really excited for you all to check it out.
It's an awesome creative team on it.
Yeah.
When we do our consulting, we're there talking about the creative, what's coming together. And I remember one of the editors reached out, we were emailing about it a little bit, and then they said who the team was, and I basically was email was like done. And so I couldn't believe it actually that the team was being put on this because they're such an amazing team.
I think to your point, Andrew, about like launching
sick, actually.
team books, I think that's the thing that has me most excited about all this is Legion, Teen Titans, and Doom Patrol are all such different and distinct flavors.
So cool.
Like they're so different as far as the type of team, the team book that we're doing.
Well, okay. I think we've talked a lot about teams. Why don't we talk about some villains? Normally a part of the Suicide Squad, Deadshot is venturing on his own in September's Next Level one-shot, written by Jerry Duggan.
How cool is Deadshot? A character who learned the wrong lesson, maybe, but the right lesson. He accidentally killed someone he loved, and the lesson wasn't, maybe guns aren't for me. It's, I'm just never gonna miss again. And this comic is so cool. There's, oh my God, look at those pages.
That's sick, yeah.
Rick Flag's in it, and he's really paranoid. And Deadshot, these guys are not friends, but Deadshot understands if Flag is concerned, there's probably a problem. And so this, I think I can say this, we have a clone problem via Cadmus. And so this is a really big threat. It's a really lovely issue. It's got some really cool guest stars and an ending that I can't believe I got away with. It's one of the grossest things I think I've come up with, and you're gonna love it. You'll be a little iffy on me, maybe.
What's been your favorite thing about writing Deadshot? I mean, villains can be a really fun path into story.
That's the thing is, taking a classic Suicide Squad character and giving him a one-shot and letting a villain be a villain, to me is great, where we're not trying to necessarily redeem, we drop a lot of bodies in this, and but
that's sick.
There's maybe some
Nice
sort
touch.
of redeeming thing to all of these bodies that, I don't want to go into. We might be doing the hard thing for a good reason. We'll see.
Is there anything in the one-shot that you kind of couldn't believe
bring
you got
half-tones
the
back, bro.
Oh, for sure, where it goes, the last scene, I was like, well, it's written. Let's see if it gets approved and drawn. And I was like, oh my God, there it is. It's so much fun. It never stops moving. We're taking a pretty quick tour through some of these next level books, but it's got some real meat on the bone. And the thing at the end where I don't want to not spoil it. It's really great. But I personally love one-shots. I got to do a Guy Gardner one-shot. But it's a great chance. They're usually a couple extra pages, and you get to hang your hat and have some fun.
Okay, so Michael, you've been sitting here really patiently. We've talked about reveals for this panel, things we're going to share, surprises. Why don't you get us started? What is the next level book that you're doing?
Hi everybody. Reddit was right. I am writing and drawing Jonah Hex. Do you guys like horror comics? Okay. We're gonna take Jonah Hex and introduce him to a whole new mythology, and it's gonna be a very horror-leaning book with a lot of the sensibilities of what we love about Westerns. Themes of isolation and guilt and redemption, and there's going to be a whole new cast of characters that I hope you guys fall in love with, because we're going to do really evil things to them and pull you in and break your hearts and hopefully give you a book that you're really going to enjoy. And as you can see on the screen here, you're getting a first look at some of the pages from this first issue. And we're going to be telling stories about Hex's past and where he's at now. At the start of this story, Hex is in retirement. He's not bounty hunting anymore. He's just kind of trying to live out the end of the Wild West. And he gets pulled into a world of, without spoiling anything, supernatural entities, and has to decide if he wants to take his guns back out. And you'll see how that works out for him and all the people around him.
I've known Michael for a really long time. And you've talked about wanting to do a horror western this whole time. And so when I finally we were doing this, I was so excited. And when this pitch came in, it was one of the easiest pitches. It was so awesome, it was so figured out. This book is really, really good. If you're really digging horror and you like Michael's work, this book is amazing. It's so good.
Why don't we get into the back half of the panel? Let's get into some of the surprises. We have a next level Wave 2 trailer for you guys to show, and then we'll just keep the panel going.
Cool.
Oh. No problem. We can patiently wait. We're all having a good time here, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys get the little surprises we left actually for all of you?
Yeah.
Hands out there for you.
Yes.
Actually, I haven't seen one of those yet. Can I see it first? What is it? The Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, that looks great.
So this is the first time we're seeing it literally right here.
All right, here's the trailer. I think so.
Wow. Looks great.
You guys love that one, am I right?
The paint art is amazing, right?
It's like 2 inch.
Should we just spoil it?
We can just spoil it. We can just bring people up. We don't need to do
is working on these books with you, and what are you doing for DC Next Level?
The worst kept secret in comics for the last 4 months. I am doing Vixen with Kari Randolph.
Worst kept secret in comics, I'll be doing Static with Diego and JJ.
Stephanie, Vixen is one of those characters with incredible history, incredible power, and incredible untapped potential. What made her feel ready for Next Level, and how long have you been waiting to do this book?
2 years. 2 long years. I remember sharing on threads that I had a Vixen pitch that was burning a hole in my drafts. And Marquise Draper, our editor on Wonder Woman, he said send it. So I sent it, but at the time there wasn't a spot for it. So this has been a long time coming.
And what kind of energy do you want to bring to Mari that feels true to who she is and still push her forward now that you finally get your take on the character?
I want this book to be Mari telling you all who she is instead of us all assuming we know who she is. Like, we know that she is this badass supermodel. But on top of that, also a businesswoman. So, like, I don't know, if Rihanna finally decided to become a superhero, that would be the case. Not Tyra Banks, though.
When we first started talking about doing Next Level, one of the things we were looking for were people who were passionate about these characters. That was one of the biggest things you wanted to look at. And when Stephanie's pitch came in, Stephanie told me, was your initial pitch 20 pages?
It was 20 pages. I mean, it was a lot serious.
Pitches aren't normally like that. Hers is long. But the thing about it was, you could see how passionate you were about that character, how much you loved that character, and how you were the perfect example of what we were talking about. But we wanted people who love these characters and were bringing something personal to it. And everything about your pitch, we talked about this on the Zoom way back when, where I was like, there was stuff in there where it really was this deep history for Vixen. And there was stuff in there that I was like, are you making this stuff up, or has this always been here? And there were things in there that I was like, it really showed us that we were missing out on this whole Vixen world this whole time. So I hope everybody sees this. She clearly loves this character a lot. It was always there on the page, and it's very, very exciting. It's awesome.
No, thank you guys for the chance to make history. So can I say the thing?
Sure.
You don't know what it is? Okay, this might say Vixen's very first ongoing.
And you were just waiting for the right writer to do it, so thank you.
No, thank you.
Speaking of ongoings, Kody, Static, has meant so much to a generation of readers. What makes him feel urgent and exciting to you right now that you want to take on the book?
I think, like many people in this room, like I grew up and saw Static and go, wow, not only does he look like me, his family looks like me. And for a lot of us, it was the first black superhero that we saw. So this was really like a dream come true. Like I get to write this character that has such an impact on me. I get to reintroduce him not only to the audience, but also to the DC world at large. And truly, like, looking at this art, like I could die right now. Like, this is it. I know you guys want your book, but I could die right now. It's truly an honor, and like being able to talk to Stephanie. I'm sorry, Eisner nominated Stephanie. I love this whole team, and like being able to collaborate with these people has been fantastic. I'm so excited to like bring Static back to the world at large.
For this new era.
I think Static, he's been out of the public eye for a while in this universe, and I think it's him dusting off some of those cobwebs and like regaining some of that confidence, and also introducing himself like, oh, I'm back. Static is back. The streets, like I'm out there, like I'm gonna have more presence in the world that I haven't had before, and it's very exciting to be able to shepherd him back into the world.
Amazing, and we're all really excited for Static. I know we've been waiting quite some time for him to come back. So with both of these characters, they both feel like heroes with their best stories still ahead of them. What does that unlock creatively, Stephanie and Kody, for the both of you?
So much. With Vixen alone and the totem and expanding on that, and got a couple surprises for you. Going to go across the African diaspora with this, and I'm very excited about it. And for you all to see Vixen function as more than what you know her as on Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, or the last time that we really seen her fleshed out was during Dwayne McDuffie's Justice League run. So I'm just so excited. You'll get to see this Black woman who has to live fully, right? She doesn't have an alter ego. Like, she is Mari and then she's Vixen. So what does that look like? And for her to be, we're finally giving her company a name. It is McCabe International. Because business didn't have a name at first, which was insane to me. So we're getting into that. You're gonna see Vixen the detective. We're gonna bring in some family members. Because, like, let's expand on that, and taking a page of Kody's Miles Morales, we're gonna get into some African gods. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, we've talked about future generations, legacy, and heroes carrying DC forward, but one of the things that makes Next Level exciting is the characters that keep you up at night. Michael and Annie. Let's chat about some of the stranger, bolder, and more unexpected corners of this initiative. We can applaud Brander if he's in squad.
Oh, we got Vince. All right.
Let's start with Michael. When people hear folklore and Jonah Hex, that may not be the first thing that comes to mind. What made Jonah the character for you, and what you wanted to work on and bring to the character in this run specifically?
Well, I love folklore. I love early American folklore. I grew up in a family where my grandmother is Irish, and she would say, "Be careful in the woods because the fairies will take you." So I grew up with this idea that, like, ghosts and monsters and all these stories that you hear, they could be real. You know, these things could be around, and I think there's this fun idea that Jonah Hex is kind of a part of folklore. He is a folk hero, and his history, it was told around campfires, and what's true and what's not true has been telephone wired through time. So I thought it would be really interesting to bring him into contact with all these other kind of folk heroes and folk tales that we've heard, and bring in folklore from, you know, a lot of Irish folklore, because there were a lot of Irish immigrants in the Wild West. And I just thought that it would be really fun to mix the tone of a horror story with the tone of a Western. And I love drawing a craggy old man too, you know? Sometimes you just want to write the things that you want to draw.
And you do it really well.
Yeah.
What draw craggy old man?
Yeah, I like your craggy old man.
Well, speaking of horror, we were talking about the other day those moments that keep you up at night. How do you approach that when writing and drawing a book and creating that experience for a reader?
Well, I was telling you this. Do you guys know Junji Ito? He's a big influence on my work and the way that I tell stories. And I read an interesting interview of him once where he said he comes up with this idea of a page or a panel that is built to just terrify the reader, and then he builds a story around getting there organically so that the pacing builds towards these moments of pure terror. And I thought that would be a really fun way to structure Jonah Hex. So each issue is hopefully going to have one of these water cooler moments where people turn the page and gasp and then talk about it, and you know, and it's all going to end. Each issue is going to be a cliffhanger ending directly going into the next issue to pull people in.
Nice. And since you're writing and drawing the project, what does that unlock for you in your creative process?
It makes me hate myself too. Sometimes I'll get to a page and think, why did I just write a crowd scene for myself again? Because now I'm going to draw 100 people.
The writer of the book is really unforgiving.
Yeah.
But it's also really rewarding because I also get to change things on the fly a little bit in terms of the way that I'm structuring each page. So I can add panels to add more character, more narrative beats to every page as I'm drawing, and I don't really have to ask the writer if that's okay. And yeah, it's when you write and draw your own book, it feels like it is your complete vision, and when readers respond to that is one of the most rewarding experiences that I get to have making comics.
I can't wait to see it because I also feel like horror as a genre it's so controlled and dictated by pacing.
Yeah.
And as a writer, artist, you are in such command of the reading experience and the pacing for all of those moments.
Yeah, so if I mess up and nobody likes it, it's all on me.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of writing and drawing, we have another creator pulling double duty this fall. Andrew, as the editor of the book, can you tell us more about the demon and who will be working on it?
Yes, definitely. Technically, it's not me writing and drawing it, but I'm sure as you can see from the pin and the art, James Aaron, the talented James Aaron, is ready to do it. James and I have been working on this book for a very long time. We've spent hours on the phone talking about what we love about Etrigan, what we love about Jason Blood, this world of horror and magic. It's been a real dream to put together. We love Jack Kirby, and we're really trying to channel everything that he put into the creation of that character into this book. James's strengths are on full display as a creator here. There are huge fights, insane monster designs. I can't tell you how many pages of designs he has sent me of just the freakiest demon faces that keep me up at night, but also make me laugh out loud and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna really love this book. If you are a fan of any of James's work on Hellboy, BPRD, Ultra Mega, you guys are really gonna love this book.
I've read the first issue and it's incredible.
Yeah, this book looks amazing. I mean, the work that James has done, I've seen the process with you and the work you guys have done together. This book is so cool. If you're a fan of Hellboy, I think it's something you really enjoy, or Mage, like you can see a lot of inspirations on it when you're reading it, but it is one of the best looking #1s I've ever seen. This book is really, really cool. It's just, it's horror, but it's this big mythology, and it is awesome. I'm hoping everybody checks this book out, because it is so cool.
James is in here, obviously that's why I'm sitting here talking to you, but he did do this really great
This
session.
video is fantastic.
Yeah, he drew this piece specifically for San Diego as a little announcement shot, so I asked him to record it time lapse, and yeah, it's a wow.
Well, Andrew, you're repping for the demon today. What is a demon without his rhyme? Please recite one if you have the time.
I think
Was that iambic pentameter?
I really, really don't know what would be worse. Me trying to rhyme right now in front of all of you, or me trying to draw the demon in front of you. I mean, I'm not gonna rhyme. I very much apologize. I feel like I could just gush about this book for hours, and I really don't want to take up that time. But really getting to work with James, we've talked about this book really, really, truly for like 2 years, and wanting to do this, and the fact that Josh and Scott helped create a space for us to bring this book in, it means the world. James is really, really thrilled. I think the last thing I want to say is like this book rips. It's so, so cool, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys in October.
Well, we have, go ahead.
No, just weird stuff. I just keep seeing the art again. I've seen it for months and months now, and it's just the weirdest stuff, and it's so good.
I love James's brain.
Yeah.
Well, we have a few other artists on the panel, and I wanted to talk to Michael and Hayden specifically about this. This whole initiative is built on unexpected visions of our characters. How has that informed your approach on each of your respective titles?
I think specifically for Legion, I mean, we're exploring thousands of years in the future. We're exploring planets that it's an expansive view of science fiction. It's very space operatic, and I want the book to feel like an exploration of sci-fi as we've known it through the history of comics, pulling from Alex Raymond, Tam Kennedy, pulling from Carlos Esguerra. Not having a limiter on what the future looks like when we go to different planets, having different feelings, having different textures, histories, artistic backgrounds, and getting to develop more of that and pulling from those things, like getting to dive deep into Carlos Esguerra's work and really learn from the things that he was doing there and seeing like, okay, well, like, looking at Frank Miller's Ronin, that's something that we were talking about. There's all of these unique visions and views, and that's part of the history of comics. And Legion, as it's being written, is very in conversation with comics as a whole. So wanting the book to feel like it's celebrating and continuing that legacy that is very unique to how comics have chosen to depict the future, that's separate from animation, film, any of that. It gives it its own identity. So having each planet span that out has been a lot of fun.
Michael, anything to add?
Yeah, for me, this is, like I said, a different version of Hex. He's much older, he's more weathered, he's not as intimidating. I think at the beginning of the story, he's kind of finding himself again. But one of the key elements of the art in this book is the colors, colored by the incredible Toni Marie Griffin, who's a big collaborator of mine, my partner in life and art and crime. And we wanted to make this feel like something different than we've ever seen in a Western, so we're playing a lot with the color story and how the colors really create an unsettling tone, but then there still are scenes that feel very warm, like you're out in the desert. So we're playing a lot with feeling and warmth and coldness and just the impression that you're getting from the colors on the page.
Amazing, and let's bring it back to all the panelists now. Fun question for all of you. What is a story or title that you've heard about on the stage that you're jealous someone else is working on?
Static? If you want to read it, I want it.
Also Static, actually. I'm not sure if I would say I'm jealous of any of them, because I think the people that are on these books are the exact right people for those books. You know, I don't think I could do what some of these characters are doing and the amazing work that they're putting together. You know? So I mean, the work everyone's doing, they are the creators for these books, you know, so that's why I don't feel like I'm jealous of anyone.
Yeah, I would love to echo that, because I started at DC, and I did, you know, a couple years doing Nightwing for the New 52 and Batman Eternal and things in that era, and it's a very different era than now. And I think being back and just seeing what has been possible as a creator, you guys do a really, really great job of putting creators in the best positions to succeed. And a lot of that involves what is the character, the concepts, the whatever that is a really good fit for them, and also crosses over with their interest. So yeah, I think Josh nailed it. I think everyone's a really good fit for what you're doing.
I was pretty jealous of James on the Demon, but then when I saw the first issue, I didn't want to live in a world where that book didn't exist.
Can I give the people a little something more to speculate on?
Sure. All right. I mean, they're sitting in this panel room. I think they deserve some more surprises.
Are you ready for Vixen love interest with another superhero? All right, I got you.
You might need to stop there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. But you'll enjoy it.
Kody, do you want to tease anything else for Static?
Wait, what was the question? I was so flattered.
Start with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I won't stir the pot until I have a finished book, but once that book is done, it'll be stirred so thoroughly.
Well, I think another question for all of you, since you're working on all of these DC characters at different points in their history, what makes you feel like it is the right time to work on a particular DC character?
That's a great question.
Is that your answer?
Hold on, no, I think I got it. I think it's when the most interesting aspects of the character to you as a creator are also the aspects that haven't been accentuated in a little while. So I think if you can find a way to marry what you love about a set of characters or character with, hey, the book hasn't really done that in a minute, that's a really good time, because then you're telling a story that you're passionate about, but it's also taking the book in a direction that maybe is spicing things up or bringing it back to more center or whatever. So I think you have to be mindful of kind of like what you like about the characters and make sure it's a good time for everybody.
Well, Josh, I'm gonna let you kind of land this plane right now since you've been part of Next Level since the very beginning. After everything we talked about today, what do you want fans to understand about where Next Level is headed?
Well, first, I really want to say thank you to everyone here in this room with us. You when Scott and I started working on developing All In and Absolute, we understood that what we were doing was a big risk, that it was going to be a really big swing. And there are times when you're doing stuff like that, you do get a little worried, but you do know that when you're getting a little worried, that means you're probably doing the right thing. And the reason why I want to say thank you to everyone is because of the success of All In and because of the success of Absolute, that everyone here, the fact that you supported that, it allowed us the opportunity to do things like Next Level and take these kinds of swings and go to creators and ask them, what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? We couldn't have done that without everyone in this room's support. And I want to thank all of these creators for the same thing, for bringing that passion and coming on this journey with us and taking those big swings with us, because that's what Next Level is to us. It is going to creators and saying, what do you love? Which characters are you passionate about? And then telling those stories and showing all of you that we love those characters just as much as you do. So again, thank you to everyone here, thank you to everyone in DC, and thank you to everyone on this panel for coming with us on this journey to the next level.
On this panel later today, there's going to be a signing at the DC booth. That's number 4544, beginning at 3 p.m. today. Just a special thanks to the panelists, our surprise guests, and most importantly, you, the audience. Tomorrow we'll continue this conversation with Metropolis and Beyond and DC's Absolute Universe. Thanks for being here.